my count. 3, 2, 1.
I personally just think it's really important when we get into these personal stories of the characters. So this was one that's very important to me. It was something when I read it, I said, oh, we've got to do this. This has got to happen. You know, young David Rossi at 19. We've alluded to the fact that I had a military background. Now we kind of see in detail what that's all about. And I told him, you better hire some very good-looking guy to play me at 19. That was my only requirement.
We always thought it was interesting that Rossi was not always that in control, knowing what he's doing every moment of the day kind of guy, that maybe back when he was 18, 19 years old, he was kind of a screw up and he was kind of a, you know, one of those guys that have checked out, so to speak, but fell into the Vietnam War because he was the right age and they needed guys to go over there.
Lock it up, Marines! You got a Death Wish Marine? No, Sergeant! In that case, Private Rossi, you might want to put your helmet on before the Vietcong decide to paint your face red.
It was important that we showed progression for not just Rossi, but also for the whole squad. So when you first see Rossi, he's kind of staring. I mean, he's shell-shocked. It was important to show that, you know, Rossi evolved while he was over there and that Harrison Scott was integral to that.
A lot of the story came out in Rossi's dialogue, and it wasn't until Rick Dunkel and the other writers talked about it and said, you know, I think we could go and show this. We could show the flashbacks. And so everybody got very excited about the idea of being able to do that, to be able to show what happened to Rossi and Scott back in that time period.
And action!
It wasn't enough to just hear that this had happened. We wanted to go back and see the actual saving of his life and just see what it was like back in 1969 through 1971. So that was pretty important. And we knew that there had to be a secret involved in this, and so that's where the Hernandez character came into play. Rossi already knew the story. Harrison saved his life, but what didn't he know about that?
Action, action, action! Fall back! Fall back! Fall back, Marine!
And here we are in lovely Vietnam, which conveniently is in Palos Verdes, California.
We have two major sequences today. One was a gunfight in the jungle, where we have all our ND hits and pyrotechnic hits and cork and dirt and trees and all over, and just creating chaos in that manner. And then we also have a shot where we have some background explosions. And then also a foreground mine explosion. One of the guys has jumped on a high ordnance landmine to protect his buddies. And we're going to do that live in a master on camera. So we have two large charges and two steel mortars covered with movie dirt, which is fine dust, and peat moss and soft stuff. And we got some magnesium in there, so when it goes, you have this sparkage, high energy, powerful shot. It'll look just like a mine explosion. The stuntman is going to jump about a foot away from the explosion, and we're going to put the mortars in between him and the camera. And so it'll simulate that he just got taken out. So it's a potentially dangerous stunt, but it's going to be very effective.
On my count. 3, 2, 1.
Hernandez. But why?
Why did he do it? Or why did I take credit?
Both.
The short answer is, I was ordered to.
Sergeant Scott is a compilation of a lot of different guys that I've met that are veterans that have become homeless, you know, for different various reasons. And I've met so many of these guys through this organization that we work with. They're kind of stuck in some moment in time. There's something that happened to them that they were involved with that they just haven't been able to get over yet. And I thought that was fascinating. And so those two things combined, we thought, well, here we go back to 1969. We see Rossi as kind of this goofy screw-up, not knowing what he's doing, and this other guy who really knows what he's doing. Now you jump cut 40 years later and they've switched roles. Now Rossi's the guy that knows what he's doing all the time. And Scott is a guy wandering the streets, not sure what's next for him.
Something happened to Harrison Scott after that incident with Rossi that took him out of it. I got credit for someone else's heroic act. They gave it to me, which is one of the reasons why I'm kind of got this self-hatred thing happening. I didn't tell the truth about it. And I followed orders, but I didn't tell the truth, and it haunted me. It haunted me for years. Rossi finds him, and it becomes his reason d'etre, his reason for being, to get this guy back into society, because he knew what a fantastic individual this guy was when he was in his right mind. Joe Mantegna is one of my oldest friends. We've been friends for 40 years. We started in the business together in hair many years ago.
It was really important to me that he played his part. We started our careers together back in the late 60s. So to be able to do these scenes with him, it's like a dream come true for me as an actor. It's that whole thing of here's a chance for payback. Here's a chance for somebody saved a life, and now you, in return, are hopefully giving them a little second chance at a life. And it's you know, that's an old story. I mean, there's been million scenarios of that in the books and TV and film for centuries, as far as that goes. But this is our take on it, and I think it's very apropos, especially for people who, you know, been in the military, understand what that's all about.